I'm Colin Singer, immigration lawyer and managing partner of Immigration.ca. Canada Immigration News Articles, October 2015. How Justin Trudeau Can Improve Canada's Immigration Policies. A Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. These are among the many words that Canada's new Prime Minister designate Justin Trudeau echoed during his victory speech, distinguishing himself from the former Conservative government. He was, of course, referring to the two-tiered citizenship status created by the Conservatives, which passed the highly controversial Bill C-24 this past summer, known as the Strengthening Canada Act. It is a near certainty that many provisions of this law, which critics assert violates the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, will be repealed. But with the exception of this and perhaps a few other issues, Canada's immigration policies under the centrist Liberals will unlikely take on a much different direction than previously. However, it is the tone towards its immigrant communities that is sure to undergo transformation. Here are some of the changes we can expect and what the new government must prioritize. Annual immigration levels. The government normally tables Canada's projected annual immigration levels each November. The levels for 2015 range between 260,000 and 285,000, the highest in 5 years. Expect 2016 levels to be at most marginally higher to accommodate the increased family class and refugees from Syria, which the government promised during the election campaign. Citizenship. Recent changes to the Citizenship Act make it much harder for permanent residents to obtain Canadian citizenship. Now, fewer will succeed in becoming citizens. Applicants will continue to wait 4 years to qualify for citizenship, but older applicants will likely face a tempering of the difficult knowledge-based language tests to qualify. Expect the repeal of certain provisions affecting dual citizens, including those born in Canada who, under the new rules, can have their citizenship rescinded. Family class. The Liberal Party will make family reunification marginally easier for new immigrants. Expect a doubling of the number of parents and grandparents admitted under the Canadian Parents and Grandparents Program, PGP, that are granted permanent residency each year to 10,000. Current quotas are 5,000 per year. However, judging from previous submission periods, the expanded program will quickly open and close in less than a week. The Liberals also promised to double the budget for processing applications under the PGP, which should significantly reduce the multi-year wait times that most immigration applicants are currently experiencing. Additionally, there are expectations that spouses of immigrants will be granted permanent resident status as soon as they arrive in Canada. Under existing rules, spouses receive conditional visas and must wait 2 years before transitioning to Canadian permanent residence. The new government also pledged to raise the maximum age for dependents of immigrants from age 19 to 22, reverting back to the previous criteria and making it easier for the older children of immigrants, many who are already working in Canada, to join their parents in Canada as accompanying dependents. Economic class. In January 2015, a new system was introduced called Express Entry for the management of economic immigrants. It was described in part as a system to fast-track permanent residence for highly skilled workers already working in Canada under the Temporary Foreign Worker Program. Candidates who meet minimum entry criteria express interest to acquire permanent residence by submitting an online profile to the Express Entry pool. Yet employers who are interested in permanently retaining a foreign worker already working in Canada must still pay a $1,000 government fee and undergo an evaluation for a positive labor market impact assessment confirming that no Canadian is available. This makes no sense because that confirmation was already rendered when the worker initially began working in Canada. The government is encouraged to consider waiving the LMIA requirement for temporary foreign workers already working in Canada, as these individuals have proven abilities to secure employment. Temporary foreign workers. Expect continued policy initiatives from Ottawa with all of the provinces on the recognition of foreign credentials. This includes furtherance of programs, initiatives, and funding on the Pan-Canadian framework for the assessment and recognition of credentials. This is needed to help Canadian businesses recruit highly skilled workers from abroad to fill gaps in our domestic labor markets. Refugees. Among significant changes Canadians should expect under the Liberal government are those aimed at refugees and refugee claimants. In particular, previous reforms that deny due process to vulnerable asylum seekers under a discriminatory two-tier system based on nationality must be repealed. Expect a review of previous policy which eliminates basic health care services to refugees. The federal court struck down the Conservative government's cuts to refugee health care, describing it as cruel and unusual because it jeopardizes refugees' health and shocks the conscience of Canadians. Since mid-2013, Canada settled less than 2,500 Syrian refugees. Canadians can expect the new government to immediately begin delivering on its promise to welcome 25,000 Syrian refugees. Criminality. Calls will be made for amendments to our immigration laws for removal of provisions that harshly punish permanent residents who are subject to arrest, detention, and deportation for minor criminality offenses. Perhaps the most noticeable difference in future policy will be a change in government tone towards Canada's immigrants. Indeed, immigration policy decisions affect how Canada is perceived in the world and will shape our nation for generations to come. It is important that the Liberals give priority to addressing the past failures in order that we regain our tarnished reputation.